Hey guys, Derek here, and today I'm bringing you a video that I've been kind of wanting to make for a long time. I think it's going to be a really fun one to get into, and since we have two new games coming out that I kind of plan on maining, that being New World, and then once Battlefield comes into, I want to really dig into Battlefield. Since we have two new ones coming up, I want to just basically talk about all the ones from my past that I've, played at least a somewhat, considerable amount, and kind of make a ranking list. And then that way, after I'm done with a while of New World, or after I've done a while with Battlefield 2042, I want to see how these two new games compare to all the previous ones that I've been playing over the years. So basically, this isn't going to be like, oh, this is the best game, this is the best game, this is the worst game. This is all going to be like a personal favorite. So it's not opinion about what game's better than the other. It's just this is what I've personally found the most fun or the best experience over the others. So yeah, I'm excited to do this. So yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so I have the actual tier list here off to the left, and I have all of the titles here off to the right. So these are all the ones that I've kind of played over the years, or at least have been memorable to me. Memorable enough to put them on this list. So this is going to be pretty raw. I haven't scripted any of this. I kind of know what my top ones may be, but I don't know where and where all the rest of them are going to play. So this is going to be interesting. I'm just going to go from the top down and describe a little bit about each game and what I thought of it. So if we're going straight from the top, and this is going to be subject to change over the course of this. I might have to move one from A to B later on in the same video, or B to A, or C, like once I start making more fair comparisons, let's say. So first one right here is Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2. This was a dang good game and had very fast-paced inputs, and that's what made it really kind of addicting. This whole series, the Tony Hawk series, was so good. Their inputs and their music and everything at the time was just so good. So it wasn't like a Skate 3 or Skate 2 or anything like that. Those are amazing games, by the way. Skate 3 was a fantastic game if you're into skateboarding. I haven't tried the other PC ones, like I think it's Pro Skater XL or something like that in Session or something. I haven't played any more skateboarding games, but Skate was really good. And Tony Hawk, though, is such an arcade fast input style of crazy combo game that it was actually, very, very enjoyable. So much so that I've actually beaten the game. I think it was a couple of years ago. I actually replayed the almost the entire way through, but I was replaying it. I got pretty dang far. I think I actually beat the main story again, or main like levels again, but not like 100%ing everything, of course, which I did back in the day actually. So for Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2, I'm gonna throw this in the A tier for now. That's where we're gonna start off. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2. Next here we have Roblox Bad Business. So I've put in enough hours just to give a comparison on this to other games. Just like, it's Roblox, it's cartoony, you're likely facing people far younger than myself in the game, so there are some times where you just kind of feel bad and you drop like 70 kills and like 5 deaths, and I'm just like, that didn't feel right. But then sometimes there actually are some pretty good shooters on it too, so it's very hard to level up in Bad Business. I don't like that aspect of it. Like, I've put in, let's say, an okay amount of hours. Let's say I put in like 30 hours, and I've gotten like no new stuff. We're gonna move this one down to let's put this one as starting the D tier, Roblox Bad Business. Next we have Apex Legends. So I came from BR. I was a heavy PUBG player, very heavy PUBG player. So by the time I actually got like started or played my first time on Apex Legends, I was already really exhausted in the BR scene, so I didn't really get to enjoy it at its peak. Honestly, I have how many hours do I have in Apex? I didn't really play on Origin. I have 27 hours in Apex Legends, so enough to put it on the list, but not enough to say that I actually got into it. I do find it a very good game. I see why a lot of people like it. It's incredibly hard. Everything I've learned in different FPS games, just throw out the window. It almost doesn't matter in Apex Legends. You can be fundamentally good, you can hit good shots, but if you're out of line, if you're not working together, if you're out of position, you get caught. You're shooting armor. You're shooting armor so much that you can't, if you see two people with their back turned, you can't kill them. There's a lot more thought that goes into it that I haven't discovered how to play the game effectively, but I haven't also had the amount of fun where I want to solo grind it and get better like some of the other ones, but it is fun to play with friends. So for that, I'm going to put Apex Legends I know it's a really good game. It's fun with friends, but I wouldn't play it solo, so I'm going to start it at the C tier. All right, next year we have Titanfall 2. So I put in, I want to say a lot of these games here, I put in like 20, 30 hours, and that's usually enough to beat like some of the single player games in here too. Titanfall 2, I probably put in like maybe like 20 hours or so to the game. Incredibly fast paced, although it's Titanfall, but I don't really care for the Titans. Is that bad? Like I know they have the PvP mode, and I never got into it when it got launched, and it feels like it's not something I can really get into, but I can appreciate its pace, and the general feel of it is actually very good. Its movement's amazing. I think it's a very underrated and underplayed FPS game, to be honest. But there's a lot going on that I don't care for in the game, despite it actually, like, you know, being really good. I'm going to put it back down behind Apex Legends for now. Next year we have Battlefield 5. So, Battlefield 5, I don't think this one's, I've said this a few times, I don't think it's as fun as Battlefield 4. I don't care for World War II style of stuff. I feel like I've already played so much old school, you know, old type of guns, Tommy guns, M1 Grands. Like, I've played so much of that style of game. Battlefield 5 has been some fun with friends. However, I'm likely to play Titanfall 2 or Apex Legends before playing Battlefield 5, so I'm going to put it there. CSGO, probably have just around 100 hours in this. I actually played a lot more CS Source than Go. That's kind of what got me started in FPS. CSGO, I didn't really get into because by the time CSGO came around, I got more into COD. So CSGO for me, I do really like the game. I think it's very, very balanced. I can see the competitiveness. Sometimes I watch tournaments for it, and I don't care about the players. I don't know the players. I only know like Simple, and like Nothing, and, you know, obviously Shroud. But I only know a few of the players from CS:GO, and I've watched some tournament matches occasionally, but I haven't actually gotten too into it. If I had to load up one of these games solo by myself now, though, I'm actually gonna put CS:GO to B. When I think about it, like if I'm just by myself, like I've had more fun dinking around in CSGO, I think, especially solo, than these ones. But I don't know if I can really justify that as a ranking. This one might get moved around later on. We'll see. So right now I'm going to put CSGO up in the B tier, above Apex and Titanfall. That also feels weird though. Here, let's do this actually. I think I'm already going to move it. Let's start with this. Let's put Apex just above CSGO. I think I'm more likely to play Apex at this point. I'll keep it there. All right, so, I know I started YouTubing and Twitch streaming more so with Iron Sight, but if you have tuned in, or like, you know, we've gotten to know each other through Twitch or just online friends, I don't even know if this needs too much explanation. This game was not only a mental outlet for me, but the competition that came with it, the fun, the friends, the social aspect. This was a game where I wasn't known in the scene at all. I'm just a guy that played online, and faced people online, and I got really good just with going to online, doing no tournaments. I didn't really know there was a whole big a tournament scene for this game, to be honest. And there are some events that have hundreds of players going to it for an N64 Smash Bros. Like the other Smash Bros games are huge, but this game, like once I was a competitive weightlifter. I competed in weightlifting for about 8 years, and I got second at Canadian Nationals. I still have like the silver medal from it for the 66 kg class. And then I wanted to take a year off to just train, because usually I do maybe 3 or so open meets through the year, and then I do the Ontario, like the actual provincial powerlifting meet, and then after that you do Canadian. So I was doing probably 4 or 5 meets when I was really into it, a year. So once I got my back injury, I felt like everything, all my passions, everything was just dead. It hit me really hard mentally, and then my back was in so much pain, I didn't really know what was going on. I felt like every day was the exact same, and then I started playing this game. And then through this game, I met so many incredible people. I don't think anyone will from Smash will watch this, but just in case, meeting guys like Revan, Brody, the whole Toronto crew with like Y-Bomb, Vowels, Preston, all these. I could go on a huge list of all the people and, you know, friends I've made through this game. And not only that, I went to my very first tournament where I wasn't a known guy at all, and then I wound up coming in 5th and knocking out a lot of, you know, a lot of people, and then it kind of brought up the question, like, who is this guy? Like, how did he just, you know, go through all of these incredible people that go to all these tournaments, and we haven't even seen them before. And then, you know, they gave me they wanted to interview the Twitch chat wanted to interview me in Super Smash Bros. After, and I just answered some questions, and then I got a Facebook message saying a guy wants to fly me out to his event. I've gotten flown out to a couple tournaments for this game now. Boss Battle was the last tournament. If you actually look up Boss Battle and then maybe my name or something, you probably see my very last tournament where I got second place in Smash Bros. In the Indianapolis tournament, and then we got first in doubles. So that was a lot of fun. So many memories, too many special moments for that game to not rank it S tier. If there was a tier higher than S, I'd put it higher than S, but right now this is all we have. So that's Smash 64. That game really became my life. Like, when I get really into something, become passionate about it, that's all that exists in my life. So I would like wake up, eat breakfast, watch matches. I would go to college. If it was slow in class, I'd watch matches. I'd go home, I'd play. Right before bed, I'd watch matches, and I'd repeat. And it wound up being like, I learned so much and got so much better in such a short amount of time, and I felt like I needed to if I was going to be doing tournaments. So I basically lived this game, and because my back was broken, didn't have a girlfriend at the time, it just took over. So yeah, that's Smash Bros. That's always gonna have this a special place with me, and even when I'm really old, I know you can get a little rusty, but the knowledge doesn't leave. So I think I'll always be ready to play anyone at Smash at any point in my life. Maybe someone can challenge me on that down the road. Okay, so next, let's start off to the right. Counter-Strike Source. So this is the FPS game that actually got me in. So this is like when I first bought a gaming laptop, this is what I was playing. When I first built my first PC, this is what I was playing back in like grade 7. Middle school, I really got into CS. So like grade 7, grade 8, I had another buddy that played. I'd go to his house and we'd kind of play all night, and then I'd sleep over, and you know, we just play CSS, and a lot of fun times with CSS. More so than CSGO for me. So I'm actually going to put CSS up in the A tier here. We'll leave it here for now. Personally, I just had a lot of fun in CSS over CSGO. Maybe that's because CSGO was like so similar at the time. So CSS was more of a new thing for me. Next is Overwatch. I almost don't know that I played this game, but I did, and I actually played it quite a bit. The character D.Va is who I mained, and I actually had some really ridiculous stats for a while. I think they wound up like, I don't know if they patched her or something, but there was some crazy thing where whenever you're about to die, you hop out of the machine and get a new machine, and I would just kind of farm in safe areas, and I would have just ridiculous score lines with that character. Holy crap, maybe I might have to try Overwatch again. I forgot that game exists. I had a lot of fun with it. We're going to put Overwatch. Holy crap, I forgot this game existed. We might have to try this next stream. Mind you, New World's coming out, so that's what we're going to stream. Okay, Overwatch, I'm putting it there. That was a surprise to me already. This is fun. Next, these are some single-player titles. Portal 2. I put this here because this is actually a memorable title. It had a lot of unique aspects and elements that made you think. It's an incredible puzzle game, but at the same time, they mix in some comedy and storyline with your little robot partner, and then obviously the boss girl at the end. So Portal 2 was just kind of spectacular, and you know how unique of a game it was for me. I've never played anything like it. However, I don't think there's in all these single player games, there's not a whole lot of replayability. I do think that like Portal 2 could technically be above all of these, but when it comes down to it, I'm not playing Portal. But it is an amazing single player game. If we were going off just single player games, it'd be freaking way up here. However, it was very good, and I can appreciate it, but it's not going to go too high on the list for me as a priority game. All right, so next we have Tower Defense 6, and I bought this for $2 on Steam, and I played like 18 hours in like 2.5 or 3 days. I think it's kind of worn out on me now, but it was really good. I was surprised by Balloons. It was so addicting, like just getting stronger, more built up, leveling up, becoming OP. That was really fun. I'm actually going to place this Balloon's better than Battlefield 5? You heard it here first. We know what it is. Yeah, I might have to do this with a few of these just to fit. Or I could just start moving these and then stretch out the actual tier list. Okay, so that's Balloons TD6. A lot of fun with that one. Just solo, cruising, casual. You don't have to worry about anything. I literally put my feet up and used like my wireless mouse and just clicked and had a good time. So next. This is going to be a very hard one to place. I don't think I should place this one yet. This is one of my main titles right now, so I'm not going to do that one yet. Sorry. MW 2019. So I've gotten a decent amount of hours in, and we played this with buddies, and Warzone I'm mixing in. We had a lot of fun with it. We have had a lot of fun with it. Every time I play it, I don't play it solo ever, but every time I play it with some buddies, we always wind up having a really good time. And that's with the game, like, because we're all familiar with COD. There's a lot of crap, though. A lot of jank. Even, like, just being able to play the game initially. Update requires restart. Shaders, please restart. Game freezes, reboot PC. Like, there's a lot of that type of stuff that goes along with it. You load up the game, the main menu just tries to show you a video and then bombards you with battle pass stuff and, like, color, like, marketing and colors and, like, it's I don't know. There's just not a really... yeah. Okay, so we're going to put MW 2019. I think I am going to wind up placing this one a little bit higher than I intended, or what I thought I would. I'm going to start off the B tier with MW 2019 and Warzone. We did have a lot of fun with it, but I would never play it solo. I know a lot of people don't like the SBMM. Now, I don't feel like it, especially lately, it hasn't really affected us. We've still been kind of... Our last time we played, we kind of steamrolled. So maybe more players have moved on to Cold War, and now, you know, Vanguard's coming out, so... I don't know if that means there's less people to play against, but there was always a very weird pattern in this and in Cold War where you stomp for like 3 games and then you lose like 6 straight and then you do okay and then you like stomp again, and then it's the thing. I said it in the beginning of one of my videos. It was the most frustrating thing where it loads you into a match in progress on a losing team, getting streaked and triple capped in domination. You man up and go through it, and then it breaks the lobby again and then joins you in another game in progress that could be on a losing team again. It's like, you know, what type of system is that? Like, why can't we start the same lobby with the same players, start a fresh game and go back in it and just do matchmaking around the lobby that you have instead of breaking and finding a new lobby based on your ping, based on your skins, based on if you jump, based on if you use submachine guns or ARs, based on this, based on that. There's a really, really in-depth matchmaking that's just kind of toxic with it. But again, we have had a lot of fun with this, so I'm going to put this up at the B tier. Next one, Mario Kart Double Dash. I had a buddy that would always come over and we'd play with my brother, probably like twice a week. I think that was maybe like 5 years ago when I worked at a World Gym. Me, my buddy Dan, and my brother, we'd always play Mario Kart Double Dash on like Friday nights. We'd go to like Walmart or something and grab some tasty beverages and just come back and listen to music and play Mario Kart Double Dash. Holy crap, that was a lot of fun. I need to like start that again. We got competitive with it too. Like, if we threw blue shells at the end, we were getting cheese. Like, or like there's a bridge that you have to jump over and you time your blue shell, so as soon as they go over the jump, they get, you know, suckered down into the gap, and then they go way far back. Holy crap, Mario Kart Double Dash, boys. This is gonna be boys and girls, since Rebecca may or may not watch this. Okay, I'm putting this here. I'm putting Mario Kart Double Dash as the next A tier game. It was so good on so many levels. That's crazy. I had so much fun with it. Okay, moving on. COD World at War. I did actually get into this one a lot too. This is, you know, when zombies was the thing. I don't care for zombies. I'm more of a, you know, I want the competition and like multiplayer over zombies, although I can see how it's like really fun. And you know, it was because it was fresh at the time. Now all these new CODs have zombies and I just don't really care about it anymore. But yeah, I do actually think overall I had more fun on this than MW 2019, so I'm actually going to place it here. Next we have Beat Saber, a VR title. So I am into VR. Less and less kind of into VR now, more so into Sims. So not The Sims, but you know, simulators being iRacing and stuff like that, which we're going to get into later. But Beat Saber was a very appealing game. Probably have like 20-30 hours in it, I don't know. But yeah, it's a really good party tool. If you know, people come over, I'm likely going to show them Beat Saber. However, oh, I played the crap out of this. Guitar Hero 3. I'm placing this in. I'm sorry, I forgot. Beat Saber reminded me of it with the notes because I was going to compare it. But yeah, I'm not really going to be playing and practicing this one on my own time. Maybe if I was like had a lot more time on my hands, which I don't. But you know, it is a very good game. But this, for me personally, not as much replayability, despite it being an awesome title. Excuse me. Next then, Guitar Hero 3. We played this so much. I can still through the fire and the flames, I'm telling you. I can still get through the fire and the flames. I'm an expert. Very unique title at the time. I'm going to place it here at the B tier. High B tier game. Very unique. There wasn't really, like, we got that for Xbox 360, and then I have it for PC as well, so it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. And we could download our own songs into it too, which made the replayability really high. So I'm going to put Guitar Hero 3 here. Next, we have, let's go from right to left. We have Aceto Corsa. So Aceto Corsa, Rfactor 2, and iRacing. I kind of want to just kind of do these three at once. So Aceto Corsa is like the king of content in racing sims, and it does have amazing physics, and it's disgustingly cheap for what you get out of it. I spent like $12 and got all the DLC. I have like 100 cars at least to pick from, modded tracks. There's so much to do in this title. It's an incredible game. It really is. So this is taking up a lot of space. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2. So let's do this. Aceto Corsa, you know, I'm gonna place it here. So the personal fun, actually, you know what? This is hard. Mario Kart Double Dash. I won't abbreviate it yet. I think we have room. This is hard. This is gonna be very hard. This whole A bracket. So Aceto Corsa, I've had some of the best experience I've had in gaming here, but the problem with these three titles is there's so many variables which makes it good or bad for you. Like, you can play these things in motion simulators with high-end VR with $2,000 wheelbase, $1,000 pedals. Like, it can be the most immersive, incredible experience you've ever had by a very long shot in gaming, or it can be keyboard monitor driving and it's just another video game. It's there's so much degree of you know, variables. Like, I have my racing sim here where I got the car seat, the wheelbase, the Pimax 8KX. Like, I went pretty heavy. I got a 3090 just for this thing too. So you can go really heavy with it and have just a remarkable gaming experience, which I have. So for me personally, since I've, you know, I forked out all the money for this crap, but really it has been that fun. So I'm going to put Aceto Corsa here. And next we're going to, everyone knows CSS. So I'm going to chop this one down. I could do it for Mario Kart Double Dash, but I want like the name to be up there by the end of things too. I'm going to put an Rfactor 2 here. Yeah, I'm going to put Rfactor 2 here. So Rfactor 2, another driving sim with the most advanced tires and physics I've ever seen in a game. I've watched telemetry videos on how the tires change through the course of your race. Tires flat spot, causing insane vibration through the wheel. You have, you know, this is why the modding community took off with Aceto Corsa, but they couldn't take off with Rfactor 2 in racing because their tires were so advanced, modders just couldn't keep up and make modded, you know, cars and content because they can't make tires for these dang cars because it's so advanced. And a lot of pro racing teams use Rfactor Pro, which is a branch off of Rfactor 2, to train drivers. And there's so much crap in the game. It's basically a puzzle to get working properly in the way you like it, but once you do, it's one of the best experiences you can have for sure. Graphically, kind of sucks. Sounds are okay. The menus are trash. Online doesn't really exist. But in terms of just a raw driving, fun, adrenaline simulation, it is better than Aceto Corsa. However, Aceto Corsa has way more to do. You know, Rfactor 2 is I think by quite a long shot better driving simulator than Aceto Corsa. However, Aceto Corsa has a lot more fun going for it, so I'm going to keep AC above it. And then next, that's going to lead me to Iracing. And again, with these driving sims, I still think RF2 has some of the best. It does have the best feeling in your wheel, and the tires and the connectedness to the road and texture changes. So much amazing stuff in Rfactor 2. But Iracing, again, it's so good in so many areas. The physics, the force feedback once you get the software for it, the graphics, the immersion in VR. It runs incredibly well, too, in VR. Like, I didn't need a 3090 for Iracing, but the other two I definitely do. Iracing, it's just all online competition. So if you can race any hour of the day, you could race GT3s, you can race ovals, you can race dirt, you can do like anything at any time of the day, and there are people on because everyone knows what iRacing is, and this is used for huge events with like $100,000 prize pools and affiliated with NASCAR and all these other companies. So there's a degree of accuracy that comes with all like their laser scan tracks, working with the manufacturers to get the cars tuned up exactly how they are, IRL. So iRacing in VR for me has been the best of the driving experiences for me, despite AC having a lot more content. Rfactor 2, I still think feeling better. So that's a tough one, but we're going to put the driving sims up here in the high A tier. They have been some of the best experiences of gaming I've ever had. That brings me to PUBG. So PUBG, I have just under 1,500 hours in PUBG. This was a game almost like Smash where I got into it really heavily, where I started watching it before bed and stuff like that, and trying to figure out what all these top players are doing differently that maybe I'm not doing, and trying to study it. For a lot of these titles, I am I consider myself a student, trying to learn from mistakes, but not only that, but always like really actually kind of studying. There were even points in Smash Bros where I would make like a spreadsheet on how many times did this top tier player approach an attack first, or how many times did he line up a counter attack, and then average it out and try to like do these things with my play style. I would do stuff like that in PUBG too. Like, when is he just holding a tight angle? When is he swinging on somebody? It gets really, really scenario dependent, and I consider myself a student in FPS games. Not anymore, really. I'm kind of past that phase. Like, I don't really care enough to grind and do that. Maybe Battlefield, I'm hoping, will kind of re-spark that in me. But yeah, I don't really feel that anymore. Even in Iron Sight, there was times, where I really wanted to get better. I'm digging at it. I'm trying to figure out what I can do to improve. Better guns. How do I win this gunfight? Like, if there's 3 guys around me, where can I go cover-wise? Can I get 2 kills and then reload? Do I need to get 1 kill, run away, then reload? How hurt am I going to be after the first guy? There's a lot of scenario, stuff that goes on with these FPS games. Iron Sight's, I don't want to talk about it too much. I'll talk about it once I get to it. One big thing for me is like factor of probability of where people can come from. That's where Iron Sight, I feel where I kind of do things a little bit differently than potentially, other people that I've watched. And that's one thing I'll talk a bit more about once we get to Iron Sight. I don't want this to be how we're improving in FPS games vid, more so, just these titles. But PUBG, again, I did actually wind up doing a couple scrims in PUBG. I got really heavily into it. But when I factor in how much oof. You know what? I think this is a lower S tier. We've had so much fun playing with everyone, playing with all of our in real life buddies, and we've had way too many good times together on PUBG. Despite iRacing being a better gaming experience, Aceto Corsa, Rfactor 2, they've all been better gaming experiences for sure. And if I had to pick one now, I'd pick the racing titles. But the amount of fun we've had in PUBG, it's like amazing or fun. And I've had, PUBG, I've had more fun in my past. So I'm gonna put PUBG as the S tier title here. Next is a single player title, Walking Dead Episode 1. Now this game, I was almost spooked at how good it was by the end, especially because you're not actually playing, you're kind of just choosing where the story goes. And I know a lot of people have said this is a lot better actually, than the show, these Telltale series games. And it really was. My buddy even came over and just watched like every episode because he was so into it. And he didn't really care about PC gaming and stuff like that. He just wanted to watch it and see how everything played out because it's that good. It really was. So we're gonna put this at a high B tier. Replayability again, no, not really. But the experience that we had with it was phenomenal for a single player story. Next brings me to Rainbow Six Siege. I played this a little bit. I don't know how many hours I have. Probably not much. Is it Rainbow? Do I not have it on my Steam list? Tom Clancy, Rainbow Six Siege. 3 hours. Beautiful. So that was all I needed. My very last game, all I have as a story is I went 8-0 and never played again. Kind of slow peaker advantage-y, and there were too much characters to learn, and I didn't really want to because it didn't grasp me enough. It's a little slow, and on top of that, there's just a lot of characters to learn now, so I didn't really care for it very much. I'd rather play any of these titles over Siege, so I'm going to drop this to the E tier. Next, we have GTA 5. So I do have like probably 180 hours in this in Steam, doing both online and beating the single-player campaign. There was a lot of replay value, but what I actually wound up doing and making money off of is I practiced one track on racing, and I would just race people over and over and over on the same track, and I would just win every single time on motorcycle racing, and that's racing is the most fun thing I was doing in GTA 5. Amazing game, but I don't like look forward. I never really looked forward to playing it that much. I'm gonna drop GTA 5 just above Portal 2 here, down in the D tier. Good game. I can see why a lot of people like it, but not quite for me. Next, we have Rogue Company. I've had a lot of fun with this game. No one else really has, but I quite enjoyed myself when I played it, especially with people. When we had a 4-stat going on, I feel like there's a lot of ways you can outsmart and outplay people. Like, there could be a 1v3 running at you, and I feel like I have, you know, so many options available to me to try to maneuver and outplay. It makes it really, it kind of made it really enjoyable. Even though it's third person, I'm not very much into third person gaming. Third person, you know, like Fortnite and stuff like that, but Road Company actually had a lot of fun on. Not gonna lie. I am gonna drop this just above. Yeah, let's do that. I want to put Rogue Company here. Oopsies. Sorry, guys. Let's move this over here. Let's move this over here. I got too many games for not a big enough thing here. So Battlefield 5, for the record, is underneath all of these. So it's going to go down. Maybe we can make this a little bit bigger now. Okay. So carrying on then. Splitgate. Played this for... Gotta check on some of these. 10 hours, and I don't honestly think I'll play it again. It was really unique and fun for the first 10 hours, but it's kind of just the same. I know that, you know, high-level gameplay could probably get really crazy. It did take off for a while on Steam, but it's already died down quite a bit. I think it's kind of a phase, but it was a very fun game. I think I'm going to throw this... I'm going to throw Splitgate above GTA 5 here in the D tier. Next is COD 4. From Xbox 360 getting all guns gold, to getting gold guns on PC, to playing pro mod, to playing, or pro mod servers, to playing, you know, this is my step from CSS. This was up, you know, CSS up to COD 4. And then that's why I didn't play CSGO anymore, because I got so heavily into COD 4, both on console and on PC. So this game, the maps are amazing, the gun's amazing, the balance is amazing, the servers were amazing. Server drop-down list, you could lean left and right on PC, you could do console commands, the FPS, the optimization was just incredible. They actually cared about the PC. This is back when they cared about the PC version. I know that they're doing PC like for tournaments PC now, but controller mandatory. Back then, they actually cared about PC players. They had all of the mods. Like, I did paintball mods, I was doing zombie mods, I was doing pro mod, I was doing, you know, there was so much going on in COD 4 on PC back then, and then it died. MW2, they dropped the server lists, they brought back in normal matchmaking, they took off leaning, so there were a lot of elements that they, you know, it kind of felt like more of a console port, but COD 4 felt like a true PC game, but also felt like a true console game when you played it on console. That's hard for me, PUBG or COD 4. That's really hard. But I think I got a little heavier into PUBG, so I'm going to keep it as is. I don't know why I'm putting some of these here. Pavlov, VR shooting game, very immersive. Basically the CSGO / COD of VR. Cool experience. I'm going to drop it just above Beat Saber. Okay, let's just clean this up slightly now that we have more room. Okay, next on the list here, Black Ops 3. So I actually have 433 hours in this game. I had more fun with it than I'd probably like to admit. A lot of replay value, getting streaks and taking off and controlling the game. Something that doesn't really happen in CODs anymore. Whether that be the streaks being toned down a bunch and SBMM getting kicked in. Back then, the streaks were just daunting and there wasn't really any SBMM. So you could just absolutely take off with your buddies if you like played properly. So that was kind of unique to Black Ops 3. Jetpacks I didn't think I'd like, but it didn't really feel like it was just a jetpacky type of game. It felt like it was a really smooth... It complemented it. I felt like Infinite Warfare was a little bit too spacey and weird, but Black Ops 3, it felt normal. It felt good. Movement was really good. I like Black Ops 3. We're going to put this one... I'm going to put this right under in the A tier. I'm going to put under CSS. CSS took off for me, and I played it with my buddy a lot. COD and Black Ops 3 and CSS might get mixed up. We'll see. Next, MW2. So MW2, again, they dumbed it down as a PC version since COD 4, but there was obviously a lot going for it. Dropping the nuke was the most fun thing. I had another buddy I'd played this with too. The gunplay was great. The perks, there was a lot of overpowered broken stuff like one-man army grenade launchers, scavenger pro, infinite claymores, M16 having like no recoil with the what do you call it, holographic sight. The UMP was two-shotting at any range without stopping power for a while. The Model 1887s would shoot like way too far. A lot of broken stuff, but that's kind of what made MW2 MW2. You know, it was so broken that it wasn't, because everyone was using something oddly broken in a sense, and it made the game not broken. It was weird. It was like a good accident. We're gonna put COD MW2. I think MW2 is a better game, but I wound up playing Black Ops 3 more, and that's probably because my cousin played it a lot too, so I played with him. MW2 I didn't really have anyone to consistently play with, so I'm going to put Black Ops 3 above that for now. Next is the NHL series. So we've been playing hockey in NHL games. You know, our first NHL hockey game was on the N64, NHL 99, and we've literally played all of them except for NHL 2000 for some reason. You know, up to now, we've been playing NHL. My brother was top 60 in the world at one point in NHL 09, and he's been playing like crazy. He's very tough to beat, but we could still, like, you know, play online together on the same team, or, you know, I would still enjoy it. I enjoyed it more in the early 2000s, and then he kind of picked it up in the later 2000s on Xbox 360. So we've had a lot of fun with this. I'm going to drop this in the A tier in the NHL series. They haven't really progressed very much. I'm actually going to put this at the top of B tier. They haven't progressed very much, but it was very fun. Next, we have Battlefield 4. So Battlefield 4 is an all-around incredible game. I don't think anyone's going to argue that. However, like, I did have a lot of fun with it. We had, you know, buddies online. We, you know, go in tanks together. Helicopter combat. The stupid buzzard, man. People go like 150 and 1 in those things. I guess it's a skill thing, but the vehicles in like Conquest just took over. But then TDM, it wasn't as much going on. I'd rather play something else for a TDM style of game than Battlefield 4. However, I do think this was a lot better than Battlefield 5, at least for me personally. So we're gonna drop Battlefield 5 or Battlefield 4, sorry, just underneath Warzone and MW 2019. I never really got into Battlefield 4 too much. I'm hoping that changes with 2042. It does look amazing, so I'm really excited for that. But personally, on the fun tier list here, this is perfect. I put it above Apex Legends, but below the CODs, Guitar Hero, and stuff like that. Next, we had Shadow of the Tomb Raider, so another single-player title that I had a lot of fun with. Again, the only single-player games I actually would ever care to play again is if a new Tomb Raider comes out or if a new Bioshock comes out. Anything else I don't really care for, but these single player titles were different. They were, a really good story mixed with really good puzzles, mixed with really good graphics, mixed with really good combat. So it wasn't just like, if you play like a single player COD, I feel like it's just shoot, move forward, shoot, move forward, shoot, move forward, shoot, move forward. And these games aren't like that. So Bioshock maybe a little bit, but Tomb Raider, I never got that vibe. I think Tomb Raider is a fantastic series of games, and I think I will put this one actually in the A tier here. I've beaten Tomb Raider here, 7 hours on that one. There was Shadow of the Tomb Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raider. Rise of the Tomb Raider we have 28 hours in, and then Shadow of the Tomb Raider we have 46 hours in. So I did the whole game and then a lot of other stuff too. So I like the game. This was a sick scene, by the way. This is the community screenshots, I think. That was when like they found out her best friend. They killed her best friend. They like didn't wind up actually killing her best friend, but she thought so. So she went on a huge rampage and just annihilated everyone. Then came out of the fire like this. It was so sick. Yeah, Shadow of the Tomb Raider is really good. So we're placing that as an A tier game. Next, Black Ops 2. While I will I think I will agree that this is probably the best COD ever made. I didn't actually play it a whole lot. I think that's when I was into PUBG when Black Ops 2 came out. No, Black Ops 2 was before PUBG, but like I was playing other stuff. Maybe that was my Smash Bros phase. So I wasn't really into Black Ops 2. However, I can very much appreciate how good it was in playing Plutonium. Basically, it's for free playing Plutonium. I have the Steam version too. I can tell, I can see it, and yeah, everything's so balanced. The guns feel good, the streaks are good, everything's just good. So there's really nothing wrong with Black Ops 2. We're gonna drop this one. We're gonna drop this one above CSS. So what we're gonna do, let's mix up some of these. Let's go COD BO2, and we're actually gonna do this. We're gonna go, I've made up my mind. BO3, and we're gonna go this one back here, and we're gonna drop CSS here, and then MW2, and then Shadow of the Tomb Raider. We'll probably abbreviate that one too. Okay, next on the list here we have Call of Duty Cold War. I played 16 hours straight when it came out and never felt like playing it again. It just was like, It was just kind of normal. I don't know how to describe it. Black Ops 2 was better. Black Ops 3 was more fun. MW2 was more unique. COD 4 was just revolutionary. MW 2019 had, just more going for it. It just felt faster and a bit more fun. I don't know. I'm not very big. I wasn't very big on Cold War. I think I'm gonna drop this. Here. I'm gonna drop at the bottom of C. So above Splitgate, but not closer to the other CODs. Next, we have Bioshock 1. So we have Bioshock Infinite and Bioshock 1. These two games are fantastic. And the ending really heavily depends upon how you actually play the game, which I thought was pretty cool too. The underground water world with all these scientists and things going wrong is very unique storyline too. So we're going to drop Bioshock. But again, it's not something I'm ever going to go back and play or want to like explore more. Like Tomb Raider actually wound up like, okay, let's explore and do some side quests and unlock some stuff. I don't think I would be that way with Bioshocks ever unless like a new one came out. We're going to put Bioshock 1 and Bioshock Infinite here. Those are fantastic single-player games. Again, that's going to be a fun factor on experience. I don't think that these are better games than Apex Legends, CSGO, Overwatch, but it was a very fun, unique experience, so I'm going to put those up there. And then next we have Valorant. I'd way rather play CSS. I'd way rather play CSGO. It's CSGO with more lanes and specialists, and you just kind of shift walk everywhere and try to play smart and wait, maybe swing out a few times and figure out specialists. I never wound up getting too into it, but I got into it enough to say I've played it and put it on the ranks here. I didn't really care for it. I'd rather play pretty much any of these right now, so I'm gonna drop this. I'm going to drop this to the bottom of E. Half-Life Alyx in VR. This is the reason I bought VR in the first place. I wouldn't have this sim racing rig behind me if I did not play, if Half-Life Alyx never came out. I bought VR just for Half-Life Alyx. Then since I already had Aceto Corsa in my Steam library, I decided to try racing in VR and didn't think I was going to get that heavily into it, which I did, and I'm so happy I did. But I only had that experience because I wanted to play Half-Life Alyx, because I loved Half-Life 2, which I forgot to put on the list, but it doesn't matter because I actually think that this is the best one, so we're just going to leave it at this. Half-Life 2 would probably be somewhere in the B tier, but Half-Life Alyx, I honestly believe this is the best single-player gaming experience I've had and probably ever will have, unless they make a better Half-Life. So, that being said, yikes. It's a masterpiece. It really was. It's an absolute masterpiece. From the optimization to the actual graphics, the gunplay, the gameplay, the immersiveness, the storyline. It was just a masterpiece. I almost want to put it higher, but I don't because I've had so much fun with these three. But holy crap, what a game. Alright, we're putting Half-Life Alyx up in the S tier. Next one, we have Escape from Tarkov. So I have about 500 hours in this. I played a couple wipes, but they've really halted how fast you can progress in the game, and then I got my full-time job back. So I played this game a lot when I was on EI in between jobs, and I had a lot of fun doing so, but this game is a full-time job. They've catered it less and less to more casual players. There were a lot of problems with Tarkov, but it was a very unique and very hard. This is the hardest FPS game you can play, hands down. And they don't hold your hand at all. You have to look up ammo charts. You have to have another monitor beside you with a map open to learn where the heck you're going. Very, very hard, but incredible. Nothing feels better than getting a couple kills in Tarkov and then getting out alive. Like, that feels really good. So we're going to put this as an A tier game. However, they kind of broke it to the point. Well, they didn't break it, but they really halted progression, and I just don't really care to play a worse version of what I was already playing, or like a slower version of what I was already playing. And getting wiped is kind of annoying when you're more of a casual in it. Like, I wasn't casual for a bit. I really played it consistently every day, logging in, getting my Bitcoin farm money, doing my scav box and doing all this stuff. So I really did get into it for a while. But as I needed to, slow down on Tarkov and focus on other things, you can't really play it casually. And they wipe your stuff. So it's like, even if you do play casually, it's like, by the time you actually make any good progress, your stuff's going to get wiped. So I'm going to put Escape from Tarkov. I had some absolutely incredible, there are times where, I did a 1v4 on customs in the 3rd story dorm with an Alton on and a P90. And I actually, the timer was going down, and there were 4 people fighting me in one hallway, and I was at the end of the hallway, and they all took their turns trying to take runs at me, and with peeker advantage, leaning behind cover, timing everything perfectly, being patient, waiting 10 minutes for these other people to finally come upstairs. It was insane. I had some moments where I'm shaking, and then true story, I did wipe out all 4 of them, get their loot. I was bleeding out and limping, and I got out with I think it was 5 seconds left on the clock, limping out to victory. It was just such a I actually got out of my chair and ran up and had to tell my brother, and I got so pumped and I was shaking. Those moments don't really happen in other games now. But Tarkov we're going to put up in the A tier. I wouldn't even bother playing it anymore now, though. Next, we have Super Mario World 64. This is obviously the one where you're jumping through paintings. This was the childhood game. This was a revolutionary title, to say the least. Getting the 120 stars, getting Yoshi on top of Peach's castle. This game was incredible. It was so detailed and deep for an N64 game. Dang. There's an unopened copy of this that sold for over $1 million, side note. But yeah, Super Mario World 64. This was the game. That's another S tier for me. All honesty. We had so many struggles and so much fun. I remember when we were little playing a level and consistently failing over and over, and we'd have to like tell each other like, go stand in the corner. Look, don't look at me. You're too much pressure. Like, go hide. Go upstairs. I need to try this. And we like take turns trying to do it. Very memorable. I still remember Super Mario 64. I don't really remember the other titles, but the fact that that still lives with me to some extent, from back in the late 90s, it's got to be an S tier game. All right, and that leaves us with the most challenging one to place. So this game is where I actually really started diving into content creation. This is one of the other titles I actually looked into, like trying to how to get better and how to improve, and experimenting different sensitivities, experimenting with different scenario, playing scenarios differently on one day and differently the next, and trying to figure out what works, risk to reward. What I said before, the probability of lane cluster, let's call it, where if you get a kill in one direction, what are the other parts of your body that are exposed, and what are the likelihood, based on the people, your teammates positioning, what's the likelihood that someone's going to be at point A, B, or C, and do you need to react accordingly? That was the biggest thing that I've kind of taken away from Iron Sight, because people move around a lot in Iron Sight. It's not a campy game. You have to move. So the fact that you kill one person in one lane, depending how the lane looks, there might be either someone right behind them or someone 90 degrees in a different lane, depending on, again, when I get a kill and I look at my map, I'm looking at where my teammates are to dictate where the next person is. And that was very big for me in Iron Sight. And that's how I get some of these flick plays, like a 90-degree flick, where I had no business flicking over there, but it just made sense, and that's where I felt threatened from, so I did it as a precaution, and then someone wound up beating there. And that's kind of what Iron Sight taught me as an FPS player, and then I could bring some of these new skill sets over to other FPS games, where if I get a kill, as soon as I get a kill, I'm now thinking of what's the probability of this lane being clogged versus that lane being clogged, and where do I need to look next versus just continuously going forward and holding W. Iron Sight's taught me quite a bit. It's also been incredibly frustrating at times. Like it was so fast and fun. I wanted to take it seriously, but a game so broken like this, you just can't. The netcode it's too bad to take seriously. That's its biggest downfall, and probably always will be. So fast, fun. Everyone knows it has massive problems though. But for a free-to-play game, it has been incredible, and I'd still play it. I still play it to this day. So I know we're going to be branching off to New World and Battlefield, and I honestly think, based on the first 3 days of Battlefield, I'm really going to dictate whether or not I'm actually going to stop playing Iron Sight and only focus Battlefield or not. So that's going to be pretty interesting for me personally. But I have had a lot of fun. I've met so many people through Iron Sight too. That's the thing with such a small community game. We've met so many people. The Discord, the YouTube, the Twitch, it all comes from this game. But the thing is, it's kind of the game, but it's mostly the people. Like these times, there's always like people I know, on and playing, and we're all communicating in Discord potentially throughout the day, seeing when people are coming on. It all happened through this game. The reason I'm making this video right now is from this game. So it has roots in me that I don't, because it's so broken, I don't like to admit how deeply rooted this game is in me, or I am into this game, but it's true. I am, and I still enjoy playing it. Meeting C4, Pack, all these guys that we played with, it all comes from this game. It's not, if we're rating it on just a quality game in of itself, it's probably above Splitgate in the D tier. But if we're talking just the fun factor we've had, going for these 100 bombs, actually popping off at the end of games because we're so excited, and having these moments in the game and pushing for the highest kill game recorded, basically, like when I got the 128 kill game, like that was I think it was Reaver that beat me with 123 kill, and it like sparked it in me to try to go for it again. And then once we got the 128, I don't think anyone's touched it since. If I go to Battlefield like full time and someone breaks to 128, we might have to come back. But that was something I actually really strived for, is trying to get the highest skill game in Iron Sight. I had a lot of fun doing that. So we're going to throw this one. I'm just going to say BO2 just for space. Actually, we're like done all of this, so let's just do this. Okay, we're going to put Iron Sight in the kind of upper A tier here. So I'm going to do a little bit of organizing, and then we're going to just talk overall about the overall findings here. All right, guys, so I think we have it here. Just a quick rundown. Smash Bros. For the N64 is at the very top, and I believe will always be at the very top. That game I'll remember near the last days of life. I'll remember playing this game. And then PUBG, we got really heavily into with friends. COD 4, Revolutionary, Half-Life Alyx. Never experienced anything remotely close to how much of a masterpiece that game was as a single-player title. Super Mario 64, childhood dream game come true, basically. Still, I played it not too long ago again. Probably got up to like 40 stars and then wound up doing other things. But it was fun to go back and try again. Won't go through all of these, but that's the S tier games. Everything else, I feel like that is kind of pretty accurate in terms of how much fun I've had on these titles over the past, 26 years, let's say. And I think right now, Iracing, AC, and Rfactor 2 are my games with the most replay value. With streaming, though, Iron Sights has the most replay value. And outside of that, really looking forward to New World and Battlefield, and I would probably revisit this list once we have more experience with those two titles, and we'll see where they wind up. So, hopefully you enjoyed this incredibly long video. If you stuck around, if not, if you skip to the end, I would probably recommend you do almost. Thanks for watching. This was pretty fun to make, so, hopefully, maybe one day we'll do an actual, best game tier list instead of a favorite game tier list. These things are kind of fun to make. We'll see. But this is my list. Curious if you could maybe even list some of your, what's your top 3, if we go like that. I want to see what some people's top 3 games of all time are. In terms of personal favorites, that'd be pretty interesting to see, because there's a huge variety. I think someone mentioned some games I haven't even heard of before on their top list. So, yeah, feel free to message that below. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys in the next video. Thanks. Bye for now.